garbage up here, I got some treats for y'all since y'all endured this long, right? Because the brain can only absorb what the butt can endure. I'm aware of that. They told me to kind of wrap it all up, give a call to action, which I'm like, great, at the end of the day, very long day, already over. I know you guys are dead, and I've been given the task to wake the dead, so work with me here. My background, real quick, for those of you in here, just quick show of hands. Who has no clue who I am, never heard me speak? Nobody, okay. I don't want to play with one, it's about half the room. So just real quick, I'll give you a real quick background on myself. I was a pharmaceutical rep by trade. I was a cardiovascular specialty rep for about 15 years of my life down at the Texas Medical Center. I'm sure y'all can't tell that from the accent and y'all. But anyway, I got involved in direct sales back in 2005, and quite honestly, to kind of shore up some of the points that were made before I got up here, I actually had a friend of mine call me that I worked with at a cardiovascular biotech company that asked me to take a look at a direct sales business. And I've been bombarded with a lot of direct sales businesses over the years being a drug rep, but quite honestly, she boiled it down to a few things and finally got me to look at it. And I always say that people are starved in one of three areas of their life, always. They're either starved for time, or they're starved for money, or they're starved for relationship. Okay, now my friend who called me about the direct sales company that I ended up getting involved with, which is where I met Logan, she knew that I needed time. I was a very busy working mom. I have 3 children that are now 9, 13, and 17, but back in 05, my youngest wasn't even 1 yet. I made 6 figures as a drug rep, so she didn't go after me on money. But she did kind of get me on relationship. I was very passionate about my church. My church was meeting in a school at the time, but had bought 16 acres to build a church. And she basically looked at me and said, first of all, why don't you just do this for your church as a fundraiser? And the second thing she said is, you've done stupider things with a little over $300 and I've washed you, right? So she had me at below. But to the point of what Ty just shared with you, and I hope y'all are paying attention to that whole taprooting example that he gave you. I am here today primarily because of taprooting. I got involved in that business, quite honestly, as just like a hobby. It was a service-based company, it was switching people's energy bills, and I looked at it as a real good way that if I just kind of worked it, had some fun with it, I could make an extra $200 to $300 a month for my church. And I did that part-time for about 5 months, and got my checks up. I made thousands in bonuses, gave that to my church, got my residual to about $200 to $300 a month, okay? Started having those checks direct deposited to my church, just so I wouldn't spend them on, shoes or clothes or pedicures, which I need desperately right now. But anyway, the bottom line is, I had the checks direct deposited, and I want you to hear me on this, I walked away and quit that opportunity. I didn't resign, but I just didn't go to any more meetings, I didn't talk to anybody about the business. That went on for 5 months. And the #1 income earner in that company was a basketball coach by trade, and he was calling me every day, calling me. And every time I saw his number on my phone, I'd roll into voicemail. Because I didn't want him to give me some kind of Hoosiers type speech, like you gotta get back in the game, go Coach Carter on me. I just didn't want to do that, right? So, bottom line, he finally calls me from a number I do not recognize. So I take the call, and he basically says, after I've made a bunch of excuses, which he lived by the motto, you can make money or you can make excuses, but you can't make both, right? So he cut me off. He wasn't going to hear any of my excuses. He said, actually, I'm getting ready to go in to show somebody the business plan. I don't have a lot of time. I just need you to log into your back office, take a look at it, and hung up on me. Rude, right? Long quick, right? Everybody's seen that video? Rude. Anyway, so long story short, long story long with me, I went on to my back office, all right, just like our back office. The last time I looked at it, I had about 39, 40 associates. I logged on under the associates tab, I had over 182 associates, somewhere in that neighborhood, okay? Then I looked at my checks, which had been $200 to $300 a month. I go on to commissions. I look at my residual check, over $1,200 a month being direct deposited to my church. That got me back in the game. And this is where I get a little bit serious, and I want you guys to think about this. Do you think a little over $1,000 a month for somebody making 6 figures was life-changing? Not really. But It grew without me. And I don't know what it is you guys do in here for a living outside of ID Life, or what your friends do, or your contacts do, but you need to ask them this question. Could you walk away from what you're doing right now for 4 to 5 months, go down to the shore? The shore? Did I say that? About, even have a job or a small business, much less a raise when you got back?
No.
I don't care who you are, right? The answer for almost everyone, excluding the 3% of the population that's truly wealthy on residual income, their answer would be, nope, can't do it. That's why they need to look at ID Life as an opportunity, okay? Now, I want you guys to understand, though, what we have our hands on. Okay, and there's a couple of things that I think persevered in me because over the course of the next 8 years that I was with that company and coached and mentored by Logan Stout and other very successful leaders. I fell on my face and I would get back up, and I'd fall on my face and I'd get back up, and I just sort of failed my way to the top. And that, I think, is the story of most people. And I want to give you guys a little reward for being the last one standing here after a very long day. So real quick, without thinking, raise your hand if you know who invented the light bulb. Wrong. Thomas Edison did not invent the light bulb. Who knows who invented the light bulb? Don't Google it. No, he invented discovered electricity. No? A guy named Humphrey Davy. Humphrey Davy. Good grief. None of y'all get a bag of energy. Real quickly, you can tell me, gosh, now I gotta think of something for y'all to figure out. Who invented McDonald's? Huh? There you go. Sorry. Ray Kroc. Okay? Did he invent McDonald's? Was he the one that started it? No. It was the McDonald's brothers, right? We all know that story. But the reason I asked you guys about Thomas Edison is Thomas Edison gets credit for inventing the light bulb, but he didn't do it. A guy named Humphrey Davy did. Okay? Now the reason Humphrey Davy never succeeded is he had no vision. He had zero vision. Okay? He basically didn't understand. He put together this electricity in a little thing, but he didn't have a long-term outlook of what he could do with it. Thomas Edison did, because Thomas Edison had worked for Western Union Telegraph. And he saw all these lines connecting for the telegraph. He thought, what if I could get electricity to work and go through lines? And network, become a network. And so he started trying to find a filament that would burn long enough to survive that, right? To really create light for a long period of time. And he went through 6,000 filaments to find one that burned long enough. How many of you guys would have given up after about 100? I know I would have. But what kept him going? What kept him going? His vision, right? His vision. So next question. Who can tell me who Joe Green is? Not me, Joe Green. There's a whole other Joe Green out there. Who's the man that invented Facebook? Who said it first? Quick show of hands. You did. I'm good. I'm not going to throw it at you now. I'm going to kill somebody. Thank you. All right? Joe Green was Mark Zuckerberg's roommate when they created Face Match. And they got in trouble by the university for creating that. So later on down the road, when Zuckerberg decided he was going to create Facebook, he asked Joe Green to get on board. Joe Green actually thought it was a good idea, but he ran it past his dad. And his dad said, that'll never work. You don't want to go into business with that guy, he's in trouble. Joe Green now estimates that he would have had about 3 to 4% of Facebook, and he'd be worth over $3 billion. He let somebody else talk him out of it. You don't want to do that. That's like a pyramid scheme. That's one of those scams. Right? Why are you asking your broke neighbor, or some guy who's in the same prison you are at work, how to get out of debt, how to become financially free? You don't go ask a plumber how to fix a television, right, when it's broken. But the thing about Joe Green is he quit, right? He said no, he quit. He said, I'm not doing it. So the other key to long-term success, to really making it work, is you just have a vision and you don't quit. Guys, we have our hands on something really special here. You cannot even flip on a television without seeing a commercial running an ad for gluten-free or organic, right? We hear Logan say it all the time, non-GMO Cheetos. Really? It's a Cheeto. It's a Cheeto. That's the trend right now, because I can tell you as a drug rep, there's about 3 or 4 things that I really saw in this when I decided to come over and start researching ID Life before I made the big switch. Because see, my other company, by the time I decided to pick up the phone and call Logan, I was already a top 40 income earner. I was driving a 3 Mercedes-Benz. My husband basically has a business that produces some residual income, and we were retired on residual income for the most part. I mean, literally in 2008, we built a 6,000 square foot dream home on 2 acres when most people were losing their job, thanks to direct sales. We got a 3 Mercedes-Benz. We had just bought like a Hearst SS Camaro in 2009, I believe, 2010. Every morning we were getting up, taking our kids to school in workout clothes, and then hanging out at Starbucks, and you could see our neighbors drive by our house and go, they thought we were drug dealers. Oh, it's worth it. Let your friends laugh. You'll be laughing right back. You'll be laughing right back. So, here's what I just want to lay out for you guys. This is worth it. Okay? And let me tell you, first of all, I'd follow Logan Stout anywhere. But my smack you up the head by God moment came when I first heard what Logan was doing, and I just wasn't interested in maybe, leaving all my comfort zone behind, what I'd built behind. It was scary. And I knew I'd have to call him and get information and go down that path, and oh my gosh, I'm going to have to start all over, and probably going to have to give up my check to my other company, and whatever. It was scary. A lot of fear involved, a lot of fear of the unknown. Okay? And I'm cleaning my house one day, and I'm flipping channels, and I see Logan on Fox Business News. Literally, being interviewed on Fox Business News on a segment titled, Can You Be a Multimillionaire by the Age of 25? Yes, he can. And they're interviewing him about all his success in direct sales, and his book, and with the Dallas Patriots. And all I kept thinking is, oh my gosh, speaking of Mark Zuckerberg, this is like knowing him personally. And I'm in his dorm room, and he's about to start Facebook. Y'all with me? So I picked up the phone, and boy, am I glad I did. Because let me tell you, the trend now is towards health and wellness. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on, we all know you better get healthy now versus trying to get healthy later. That's right. I don't care whether it's under managed care or affordable care or whatever. We're in a system that's somewhat broken, all right? And I think everyone across the spectrum realizes that, and that's why that trend's moving that way. And just get your friends to walk through just the logic of it. You walk in, and I saw this as a drug rep, doing preceptorships with physicians back in the day.